Dyfodol is a partnership of 21 youth-focused organisations working across Ceredigion. We've taken a joined-up approach to working, so we lean on each other's knowledge, we work with each other's young people, and that way young people feel like services are working together, not alone. They feel like they know what each other's doing, they can be signposted to each other's services, and they're more informed and they know what activities they can access and the help that they can get. We're a youth-led partnership, which means that we are completely led by young people and their decisions. They co-produce and design the service for the next 5 years. And they do that in collaboration with each other and with the partners, as well as the young people across Ceredigion. We are guided by young people. They set the requirements for the engagement events. They lead the engagement team and the Dyfodol team. And they input into partnership meetings, what we're going to discuss. They collaborate with partners, and they're really involved in the services that we've been running for the last year. Even before the partnership began, we knew that young people felt like they weren't listened to and that their voices weren't being heard. So it was important to us as a partnership that we give them those safe spaces to speak their truth, to speak about things that are important to them, and to amplify their voices. There aren't many spaces where they feel like they can do that and they're taken seriously. So that's the heart of the ethos of the Dyfodol partnership.
That's me. I joined the YPMC because at the time of seeing the ad on Indeed, I was aware of the gap in services in Ceredigion in regards to access to services and the sort of functionality of the services themselves. And I had a lot to say about that.
My general life has always been like kind of like go to work, go to school, go home. And when I was in the depot, it was kind of like a safe space to be and go to. When you offered me the opportunity to basically help and do something different for other people so they don't have similar circumstances of being left out or alone, it made me like genuinely want to make a large amount of change.
I just wanted to take the opportunity to try and make a bit of change and hopefully help people in the future and just kind of, you know, branch out a bit, make some more friends.
We established really early on that we really wanted it to be youth-led, and that meant that our project management structure also needed to be led by young people. And we were fortunate enough to have young people who were involved in the bid process to apply to be part of our engagement team. So this project ended up being headed up by young people, for young people, from management downwards. And that meant that the YPMC could operate in a safe environment, feeling that they were supported by their peers, as well as people who had knowledge and understanding of the project delivery and its purposes.
I feel like as a young person in Ceredigion, there aren't nearly as many opportunities for us as there are for other people living around the country, mainly due to transport issues and just generally a lack of services around Ceredigion.
The YPMC are a diverse group, and so they wanted the events to be reflective of the diversity of young people and young people's interests in Ceredigion. So very few of the events were the same, even if they were similar events, they were done in different areas. So they drew different young people together, and that was largely the point. We didn't just want to talk to one group of young people, and the YPMC were very clear about that.
The engagement events helped a lot because it allowed us to see the common views of many of the young people across Ceredigion. They influenced us a lot, as this is obviously we were giving them a voice, and so we took what they had to say from all the different engagement events.
One of the main facts that we saw was that they were going out to social events mainly under the use of alcohol, and this was something that we picked up on, how they have voiced saying that they don't want that to be their only option, and that they want to see more events run and they want to engage with more activities. And this just rings true to our values and how we want to push forward more opportunity.
we are often dismissed as a young generation, and we get dictated to by the elder generations of what is good for us, and it's important for us to actually be the voice that we want to see and the change that we want to see.
So in terms of this project, you have power. Our entire purpose in the YPMC meetings was to facilitate them, and that meant putting in a framework in which the young people could work within. So it meant that we didn't lead meetings, we provided them with maybe an agenda and a structure, and then within that they were able to make decisions. It basically means giving them the opportunity to be able to express themselves in a safe place. The things that the young people who we've consulted with and we fed back to you, what were the things they wanted to change? There were 4, as I recall. Do you remember what they were? Transport. We need to access these strategy boards, we need to drum up some money, we need to drum up support. What methods can we use to do that?
Youth voice is crucial part of this process. I think it's important to me because it's how we are embracing the future. We are hearing from young people, as I believe that young people are the voices and people of tomorrow, that we are developing a world, and we want to bring a message across to young people to show them that their voices are heard.
We started off in terms of consultation using casual conversations. The idea was that using casual conversations with young people would allow them to be as open as possible, that we'd be able to let them direct the conversation, and it meant that we would be led by the young person. It also meant that it was adequate for any age group, so you can have a conversation with a very young person, so somebody who's 4 to 6, and you can also have a casual conversation with somebody who's in their mid-20s. So one of the advantages of engaging with young people through casual conversation is that they have the option to completely opt out.
So whenever we talk about youth-led, a lot of people are like, oh, we're not sure about youth-led, we're not sure that the young people can sort of make decisions for themselves and do grown-up things, and I don't agree with that at all. From the onset, I knew this was the way forward. You know, we have to give or empower young people to, you know, plan projects, to lead projects, to deliver projects, because it gives them the basic life skills that they need, you know, to go on.
I think this project is really important to me because it finally gives young people a voice, whereas before they were always told what to do and told when to do it. And it means we can finally do something for young people that they want to do.
We talk about engagement, but I think in the past what we've done is inform people at worst and consulted at best. Allowing young people to genuinely manage and drive and decide where that funding is invested, I think is quite groundbreaking. I don't think we have allowed users, beneficiaries, to be in that position in the past, and I for one want to see us do that more with all kinds of funding programs and projects where beneficiaries, users, people involved in those projects genuinely get the opportunity to shape and help deliver and make the key decisions around those projects. So I'm really interested in the processes we take to achieve the delivery plan as part of Dyfodol.
Young people care about young people. They want to show them a good time. They want to get the consultation. They want to improve things, in Ceredigion especially. Given the belief and the money, they really step up. They're so capable, and you know, I see the future in all these young people. I see some of them want to become youth workers now. They're passionate about change. Yeah, it's been amazing.
Mae'r gwaith pwysig yma o cydweithio gyda pobl ifanc yn hynod o bwysig. Mae rhaid i ni clywed lleisiau pobl ifanc i cael gweld beth maen nhw am gwneud. Dim yn rôl ni i'w gweud wrthyn nhw beth sydd gyda ni gynnig, ond cael nhw i weid wrthyn ni beth maen nhw angen.
Overall, mainly to just help those out there and give them a better experience living here, I think is ideal, because you wouldn't want to move away from somewhere you lived before being in hate of it because it didn't have this or it didn't have this, it wasn't good enough. So we want to try and help those who live here and make those experiences more memorable and enjoyable.
I'm really keen to make sure that the way we work and the way we have worked through the Dyfodol Partnership, the priorities and the challenges that our young people are identifying are taken to some of our key strategic partnerships, both on a Ceredigion footprint and regionally across Western Mid Wales as well, so that we are influencing service delivery, we're influencing strategy beyond the Dyfodol Partnership. So it's really important that we take that learning and influence other people as well.
It's all right being quiet and listening and observing as well, but I think the main one would be speaking up about what you actually believe in, because then it will actually end up getting out there. There'll be ears listening, and that's something you want. So
if you want to make change, I think it's possible, so I wouldn't give up. I'd keep going.
Young people have a unique inside knowledge about the issues that affect them and have the solutions to solve those problems. All we need to do is give them the framework for skills and knowledge to be able to provide those solutions for themselves. It's been a wonderful journey working with this group of young people. They inspire me to believe that we can help them change the world, because they are change makers. It might feel crazy to think that we can have such an impact on the way the world works. But here, these young people are proving what they can do. They're designing innovative services that really provide solutions to the problems that they are facing.
In the beginning, I genuinely didn't think this whole collaboration would actually be able to go ahead with all of us from different backgrounds and different ways of growing up. We each have our own issues which we go through, have gone through, and are going to go through in our lives. It is amazing that we've managed to actually come together and see what's wrong. I remember like one of our first times was we was in Llain and it was freezing cold. We were all huddled around the table, having an illustration made about our keywords like safe spaces, advocacy, resilience, and it genuinely made us feel like whole to be there together.
Just a very relaxed, very chilled environment, and there wasn't any pressure to like be a certain thing.
It has come together through a lot of conversation, a lot of meetings that involve us accumulating ideas where we pitch them and put them on the board. We also do a lot of voting as a group, and that's been important when we've been accumulating our ideas into a freshly developed plan, I think, and it's come along well in this process. And we've always had open communication and different ways of accumulating ideas, and it's come along well.
Based on the young people's feedback, the YPMC put together 3 outcomes for the service. They were looking at a mobile safe space and youth cafe that would travel across Ceredigion, and that they have named Fields on Wheels, or Lliw a Byw yn Gymraeg. They wanted to continue the YPMC but as a youth lobby group, so they've decided to rename that S Cubed, which stands for Safe Space to Speak, or Safle Saff I Siarad. And through that comes the 3rd outcome for delivery, which will be their manifesto.
The feedback seemed to definitely triangulate into like three definite sections of they needed a safe space, they had transport issues, and they didn't have access to services.
It's important that while we roll out the Fields on Wheels bus service, that we get a safe space out of it, and that young people can find a safe space in our local area.
When it came to making a decision, we all came together and made sure that each and every single person had their input and had their voice heard. And then after we all understood each other, we would hold a vote, and that's how we made decisions. So the making of our manifesto was a long process, which involved a lot of defining our own terms. So we knew we wanted safe spaces for people, and we needed to define what a safe space was. Overall, we defined a safe space as somewhere with the correct ethos.
And it sort of opened up a more personal conversation and built connections between all of us, I think, personally, to open up and speak about what a safe space meant for us, which then we found themes of our values that connected us and connected with other young people. We had to nitpick everything that we stood for and get down to the nitty-gritty of what we wanted to present to the world and present our ethos and our values, and also demonstrate how we would present our service delivery plan to people who may not understand a youth-led service, and we'd have to explain what that meant to people.
We noticed that the youths weren't getting advocacy, so we put that on the list. We noticed youths weren't getting a voice, so we put that on the list. We noticed that they needed help with services. We put that on our list. Everything we have put, we've just determined to be of vital importance to the youths, and I believe that that's what makes the manifesto so important to us as a team, that all of the stuff that's on our manifesto is needed and required in order to make a better future. And that's why I genuinely believe that it's one of the best manifestos because of that. We will try, we will do, we won't back down, we will definitely attempt to get every single thing on that list done.
My hopes for the future of the project would be to get everything we've decided to do done, as well as maybe a little bit more than that, in order so we can keep going and segue another change, so that even if we don't complete that change, somebody else can do it for us and keep it going.
Rescued will address the dysfunctionality of current services in Ceredigion and hopefully change the ethos that they hold in their services.
I hope the impact it does will affect not just for now, but will ripple the water to changing more than just Ceredigion.
My hopes for the future of this project is to hopefully have nobody have to grow up in an area where they don't get any support like I did. Being part of this has definitely shown exactly what's needed and what needs to go forward. To go forward, I genuinely hope that it will help a large amount of youths. I don't want anybody to be left out, which is why we made the mobile service. I genuinely hope it goes forward into the future to a point where nobody's going to be left out, nobody's going to be alone, nobody's going to go out after school and not know what to do. It's going to be hopefully for the future of all youths.
I think what we're doing is absolutely incredible. I just hope for longevity in what we're doing, especially in S-Cubed, our lobbying group. I hope we can make big changes across the entirety of Wales and maybe across the entirety of the UK, in order to make young people's lives and well-beings just a much safer place for them.
Yeah, young people historically have been fighting for change, for a brighter future. You know, we are the generation of now. We want to make a change, you know, the hippie era, the feminists. We've always been the ones trying to make a difference and trying to push boundaries. So how do you teach a fish to swim? You just facilitate it, you just give it a pool. And the YPMC is just our pool we're swimming in. We're gonna make some change, good trouble.